name's Sarah and I'm going to be your yoga teacher for today. Thank you very much for joining me. This is about a 30-minute yoga sequence just to make us feel nice and strong and build on our flexibility and mobility. There's a little bit of core involved, and at all times just work up within your own pace and at your own level. So if you need to work and lower to your knees, that's no problem as well. Okay, let's get started. Thanks for joining me.
Okay, starting our practice today, we are going to come up onto our hands and knees into tabletop position. If you're feeling strong today, you can come straight into plank to begin warming up the core. Making sure our hands are stacked under our shoulders, core is activated. If this is too much for you, feel free to come onto your knees, but keep that core nice and active. Taking a moment here to breathe and keep the core nice and engaged. Taking the knees slightly wider now, walking the hands forward, sinking the chest down and coming into puppy pose. Option to have your fingers in cupcake position to be able to sink deeper. Hips remain stacked over knees. This pose is so important for increasing our upper back mobility and undoing our slouch postures from sitting for too long or looking down at our phones. Sink the chest deeper as you exhale. Walking our hands back to centre, coming back to tabletop position and lifting your right hand up to the sky, twisting open to mobilise our thoracic spine. Take a look at your finger and then reach it down and through for what we call thread the needle. Inhale, lift your arm right up to the sky. Exhale, reach your arm under and through. Aim to get your shoulder onto the floor and really twist through. Taking your arm back up as you inhale, and a few wrist circles to loosen off the wrists before lowering your hand to the floor. Inhale, lifting your left arm up to the sky. Look to your fingertips and exhale, reaching under and through. Lowering shoulder to floor, increase that stretch. Inhale, lifting up, and exhale, lowering through. Try keeping your hips stacked over your knees, keep your hips nice and squared and aim to twist your chest round. Taking a big exhale before you inhale, reaching up nice and tall. Hand to the sky, wrist circles for the left hand. And exhale, lowering your hand to the floor. Back into our tabletop position. Pushing through the hands, shoulders stacked over wrists, coming up into plank. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Bringing that right knee into the middle of your mat. Pivot and twist over to the left, extending your arm up to the sky and right leg out for a Vasisthasana variation. Exhale, extend the arm up nice and tall. Inhale, squeeze and lift the glutes of the floating leg to raise it higher. Lower the foot to the floor, taking your left hand down and coming back into tabletop position. Getting yourself nice and central again, we're going to do that now for the other side. So placing the left knee into the middle of the mat and extending out the right leg. Inhaling, lifting the arms up to the sky, looking to your hand, holding and lifting the back leg. Squeeze the glutes to lift the leg a little bit higher. Holding here, breathe. See if you can point your toes and lift that right leg even higher. Reaching up nice and tall, exhale, lower your hand to the floor. Coming back up into tabletop position now. Shoulders stacked over wrist, push tall, coming into plank, and exhale through to downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal out the feet, release the backs of your legs, and stepping forward to front of mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, swan dive your arms up to the sky, palms together, and exhale, bring hands to heart space. And another big inhale, sweep arms to sky, come to Uttanasana, and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, straight spine. Exhale, step back into plank, holding plank, strong core. Don't let your belly sink through, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering to your knees, coming into chaturanga for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big inhale, push through the hands, shoulders relaxed and down, look up, upward facing dog. Let the hips peel off the floor, keep core engaged, roll the neck down, exhale, lower. Inhale, push through hands, shoulders stacked, coming into plank. And hips to sky, exhale, pushing through to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to sky. Exhale, tiger curl, bring right knee to nose. And placing right leg to front of mat. Inhale, rise the arms up, coming into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Hands together, placing hands on mat. Step back into plank, strong core, lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up into cobra. And exhale, lower head to floor. Shoulders stacked over hands, push strong, come up into plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet as you need. Lift the left leg up to the sky, tiger curl knee to nose, and step the foot to the front of the mat. Inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1, our Warrior 1. Power through that front leg for stability. Can you take yourself any deeper to increase that intensity? Try get that front knee to 90 degrees. Imagine you're pulling your feet together to work your inner thighs, nice and strong. And lowering to the hands to the mat. Step back into plank, lower chaturanga, slow and control, chest to floor. Inhale for cobra, option for cupcake fingers to offload wrists, then hands by side, hips to sky, exhale, downward facing dog. Pedaling out the legs as you wish. Shoulders nice and relaxed and down. Focusing on our breath. Bend the knees, inhale, straighten the knees, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Step right leg to front of mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, swoop the arms up to the sky, chair pose. And exhale, hands to heart space. And again, big inhale, arms to sky, chair pose, and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Step into plank. Exhale, holding here. Slowly lowering down for our vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. And flip the feet, hips to the sky, push strong, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot center sky, exhale, tiger curl knee to nose, stepping to front of mat, warrior 1. Holding, and exhale, lower hands down, step the foot back into plank, and come into our cobra. Inhale up, and pushing through, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to sky. Use your core, knee to nose, and then placing the front foot at the front of the mat. Fire up the front leg strong, warrior 1. Exhale, hands to floor, stepping back to plank, hold, lower. Inhale, cobra. Reaching forward for striking cobra. Breathe. And lower the head to the floor. Walking the hands back to your side. Push strong through the shoulders. Holding plank. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a moment here, a few breaths. Returning to our knee bends for our inhale and our exhale. Inhale, bending the knees. Exhale, straightening the knees. Inhale and exhale. Maybe adding some more pedaling of the feet. Maybe adding in some twists. Connect with what your body is asking and needs in this moment. When you're ready, coming back to center, taking an inhale and looking up, stepping forward or hopping, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Bending the knees, staying low, rising on up into our chair pose. holding, and exhale, rise up, bring hands to heart space. Ground your feet through the mat. We're going to take an inhale, reach up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Take your right leg up and back, lower the toes down nice and gently to the floor, and then lower your back knee down. Inhale, swoop the arms up, low crescent lunge, hips leaning forward, feel the stretch in the back leg hip flexor. You lean back, hands to heart space. Exhale, hands to floor. Ground the toes for stability in your front leg and lift the back leg straight to the sky. Hold and step right foot down. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reaching the left leg up nice and high, holding and taking it nice and slowly down to the back of the mat. Lowering the left knee, inhale, swoop the arms up, and exhale, lean back. Hands coming down to the floor, step the back leg to the sky and hold, and taking the left leg down. Now we're going to step the right leg to the back of the mat, and we're going to come into a wide leg stance. Taking your feet as wide as you'd like them to go and folding. You may wish to rest your head on the mat, or you may wish to reach your hands deeper and under your legs to increase the stretch. Inhale, halfway lift, taking your right arm, reaching it up, keeping the hips level and twist. Option to take a bind here, or just hold. Coming back down, taking the left arm up to the sky. Try get the shoulders nice and stacked. See if you can look up to your hand. Again, option here to take a bind or just holding this position. And lowering the hand to the mat. Taking an exhale, fold. Option again to take your hands underneath you to sink deeper into your hips and wiggling out your feet a little bit further to increase your stretch. And breathe, exhale. Coming back forward, inhale, straight spine, halfway lift. And then pivoting on your heels, turn to face the front of your mat. Before stepping back, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right leg to the sky, this time stepping it all the way through and taking your hands to heart space. Keeping the hands in heart space, fire up the front leg for stability and lift the back leg for warrior 3. And taking a hold here. Notice your breathing, slowing it down, exhaling, and keeping your focus. Lower the back leg down, floor, and lowering through to complete your vinyasa flow. Otherwise, you can meet us in downward facing dog. When you're ready, lifting the left leg up to the sky, stepping it all the way through, lower the right heel down, and inhale, sweep the arms up, and lean back. Exhale, hands down to mat, fire up the front leg, lift the back leg and find warrior 3 with hands at heart space. Holding it here, squeeze the left glutes to lift that floating leg nice and high. Holding, focus on your breathing. Find your drishti, point to focus on. And on your next exhale, lower your leg to the floor. Taking an inhale, pause in plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Option here for child's pose for a moment. We're here for 3 breaths. So a nice little moment to catch our breathing and our heart rate. Then rolling the spine up, meet us back in downward facing dog if you're in child's pose. From downward facing dog, we're going to inhale, step the right foot forward. Back heel to 45 degrees and moving into extended side angle. Reach the right hand up, knee at 90 degrees. Placing the hand back to the mat on your next exhale, we're going to get ready for another warrior 3. Arms can be however you like, out wide or reaching forward and keeping your hands in heart space. So when you're ready, hands to floor, finding your balance, lifting the left leg up and holding. And breathe. Strong standing leg. Taking the back leg as high as you would like and placing the hands to the floor, stepping back, lowering the knee and returning back to our wide angle forward fold. Option here to place your head back on the mat and try sink deep to release the hips. Pushing tall, walking your feet together and pivoting to turn into side angle pose. Reaching the hand to the sky. Option here to place your hand on your foot or just place it next to. Reaching the right hand up to the sky, you can take a focus point on one of your fingers looking up. And then lowering your hand back to the mat. Stepping up into another warrior 3, hands to heart space. Inhale and take a pause, exhale. Squeeze your glutes to lift your leg higher or just keep your current position, finding your balance. Focus on your breath for an inhale and an exhale. On your next exhale, we're going to lower the foot back to the mat and we're going to pivot round, coming back to our extended side angle here. Holding onto your ankle if you'd like, or just placing your left hand just next to the left foot. Reaching the arm up to the sky and looking up to your fingers. Then walking our hands over to the right side for our extended side angle on the right hand side. Reaching up nice and tall, shoulders nice and stacked, knee at 90 degrees. Placing the hand back to the mat, walking the hands back to the centre to return to our wide angle. Stepping the left leg to the front of the mat to meet the other. Inhale, halfway lift and exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky and exhale, bring the hands through to the heart space. Lifting the right leg behind you, keeping your hands at your heart space. We're now going to come into warrior 3, but I welcome you now, this time, to challenge yourself and extend your arms out in front of you. Holding here. Challenging our upper back strength and our stability, our core, and keeping your arms lifted, slowly lowering your foot down, coming onto your knee, exhale, lean back. Eyes can follow your finger. Bringing your right hand by your left foot, taking a twist here. Take an inhale and an exhale. Hand comes back down, stepping forward, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Taking a moment just to sway here, let your head become heavy. Start to wriggle out your feet so they're slightly wider than shoulder width. And then rolling up the spine to come back up into Tadasana. We're now going to do warrior 3 on the opposite side. So preparing to lift our left foot and taking it back. Keeping everything central and balanced. Arms can reach out or stay at the heart, or perhaps reaching forward to challenge yourself that little bit more. Taking an inhale and an exhale here, nice and strong. Slowly then lowering the foot, keeping the arms up, knee comes down and leaning back, exhale. Option here to place left hand by foot and take a twist and hold, otherwise meet us in downward facing dog. Lifting our right knee to our right elbow and taking it back. And then we're going to take our right knee all the way through to our right wrist and placing the foot down. Sitting tall and coming up into our pigeon pose. We can now take a nice stretch, taking out the arms forward and taking a rest for our head on the floor. Notice if your heart rate is raised and working to bring that now down to a slower pace. You can add some rocking sideways motions to try release off the glutes here a little bit more, or just taking a moment of stillness. If this is uncomfortable, you can use a block under your glutes, just so you can relax into it a little bit more. Coming up nice and tall, leg to sky, downward dog, swapping legs, left leg to sky, stepping it to elbow, up high, and stepping it through to return to pigeon pose on the opposite side. Reaching the arms forward, taking a stretch here. You may notice one side is tighter than the other, and that's okay. Our bodies aren't symmetrical. And focusing on our breath and breathe. Trying to take deeper and slower breaths. Perhaps taking a large sigh exhale. Perhaps rocking from side to side again, loosening it off. Or again practicing stillness. Walking your hands back up, sitting up tall. Stepping back into downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet. Lowering down to the knees, lower down for one last upward facing dog. Inhale, lift up. May wish to take the head back and lower down. Coming now to the front of our mat, kneeling all the way to the front, taking a seat. Bringing our knees together, hugging our knees to our chest, rolling back nice and slow back to the mat. Opening our arms wide, placing our feet down, and then taking our knees to the left-hand side. Extending out the right leg and stretching. You may wish to add your hand for a little bit of overpressure on that right leg. Coming back to center, taking it over to the right-hand side and extending out the left leg. Option again to pull down with your right hand. Feel the twist in your mid-back. And back to center. Placing your left foot on your right knee, reaching through for your thigh and bringing your thigh to your chest to stretch your glutes. Then rolling on up, right leg stays extended, twisting to the left, place your right elbow onto your left knee, inhale straighten the spine and exhale twist deeper. Rolling back down, changing sides now so the right foot is going to the opposite knee and we're hugging the thigh into the chest, stretching the glutes again. Then rolling on up, left leg stays extended, right leg remains crossed over and we take the left elbow onto the outside of our right knee. Inhale, straighten, exhale, twist. See if you can take yourself any deeper before lowering yourself back down to the mat. Open up your arms, stretch out your legs for our last resting pose, Shavasana. Taking a moment here to slow down our breathing, slow down our heart rate, and closing your eyes. Letting go of any muscular tension that you're still carrying. Notice how your belly rises as you inhale, and as your belly sinks as you exhale. Taking in the present moment and praising yourself for showing up on your mat today and putting your mind and body and your overall wellness first. When it comes right down to it, the challenge of mindfulness is to realize that this is it. Right now is my life. The question is, what is my relationship to it going to be? Does my life just automatically happen to me? Am I a total prisoner of my circumstances or my obligations, of my body or my illness, or of my history? Do I become hostile or defensive or depressed if certain buttons get pushed? Happy if other buttons are pushed? And frightened if something else happens? What are my choices? Do I have any other options? It is an important point to grasp the value of bringing the practice of mindfulness into the conduct of our daily lives. Is there any waking moment of your life that would not be richer and more alive for you if you were more fully awake while it was happening? This is the importance of mindfulness, fully taking in that present moment. Notice right now how you feel, what you can smell, what you can hear, bringing it all back to this present moment. And for now, bringing it back just to your breath. Begin to find movement again, wriggling your toes, wriggling your fingers, maybe rolling your head from side to side. And when you feel ready, rolling up onto your side and taking the time nice and slowly to come back up into a seated position. You may wish to keep your eyes closed, just taking your time. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. I wish you all a good day, and I'll see you next time.